Manipulators don't need power. They just need access to your mind. And they get it, not with force, but with psychology. Every day, someone is shaping your emotions, your opinions, your reactions, without ever raising their voice. At work, online, at home. Even in relationships that feel safe, they use 3 invisible weapons, so subtle that you mistake them for love, respect, or truth. But each one is designed for the same purpose, to control how you feel so they can control what you do. These are not theories, they're patterns, and once you recognize them, you'll see them everywhere, in people, media, systems, and even yourself. Because manipulation isn't rare, it's the default, it's how power hides in plain sight. So in this video, you'll uncover the 3 psychological weapons manipulators use to control perception, create emotional dependency, and keep you unaware you're being controlled. Once you see them, you'll never see human behavior the same way again. You've seen them, you just didn't know what you were looking at. When a coworker makes you doubt your memory after a meeting. When a friend guilt trips you for setting boundaries. When a partner turns every argument into your fault. You tell yourself, they didn't mean it like that. But your body knows better. It tightens, it questions, it obeys. That's manipulation, the soft kind, the one that doesn't break you, it bends you. It's in the silence after you say no. It's in the phrase, you're too sensitive. It's in the subtle disappointment in their eyes when you do what's right for you. These are not random moments. They're signals of psychological control, because real manipulators don't take your freedom directly. They convince you to hand it over. They build confusion where there should be clarity. They plant guilt where there should be peace, and they feed on one thing, your instinct to fix what feels wrong. Now let's break it down. Here are the 3 most powerful psychological weapons manipulators use, and how to spot them before they turn your empathy into a leash. The first weapon is guilt, the easiest way to control a good person. Manipulators know that if they can make you feel wrong, they don't need to prove that you are wrong. Your own conscience will do the work for them. Here's how it works. They trigger guilt through disappointment, not aggression. They sigh, go silent, or say something like, "I thought you were different. I just expected more from you." You immediately feel tension, that small sting in your chest. Your brain interprets that discomfort as a signal to fix it, so you apologize, explain, or compromise. And just like that, they win. Without ever asking for anything directly. That's the trick. They never demand, they imply. And because you're empathetic, you rush to close the emotional gap. Your nervous system gets rewired. Peace equals obedience. The more guilt you absorb, the quieter you become. Until one day, you're not making decisions, you're just avoiding disapproval. They use your kindness against you. Your emotional intelligence becomes their remote control. Here's how you break it. When guilt rises, don't react. Pause and ask, did I actually do something wrong? Or do they just feel wrong that I didn't comply? If you can hold that question in silence, you'll feel the manipulation unravel. Because guilt only works when it's instant. The moment you pause, the spell breaks. Remember this. Healthy love corrects with honesty. Manipulation corrects with guilt. The second weapon is confusion, the most elegant form of control. They don't need to convince you they're right. They just need to make you question whether you're sure. Here's how it begins. They twist small facts, not big enough to be obvious, just enough to blur your certainty. They say things like, "That's not what I said." "You're remembering it wrong." "You're exaggerating again." You hesitate. You replay the moment in your head. You start to think, maybe I did misunderstand. That's it. The loop has started. Confusion creates dependency. Because when you can't trust your own perception, you start trusting theirs. They slowly become your reference point for reality. Every emotion, every memory, every conclusion filtered through their approval. It's not about logic, It's about dominance over perception. Once they own your doubt, they own your decisions. That's why confusion is the most sophisticated weapon. It doesn't hurt immediately. It corrodes slowly. It makes you smarter in every direction except the one that matters: yourself. Here's how to break it. When someone constantly makes you question your memory, don't explain. Document. Write things down. Keep receipts. Record what was said. Not to prove them wrong, but to protect your mind from erosion. Every written truth is a brick in the wall that keeps your sanity intact, because confusion can't survive in clarity. And once you build your own version of reality, based on facts, not fear, you become untouchable. The third weapon is the most dangerous of all: reward. Because unlike guilt or confusion, it doesn't feel bad. It feels good. This is where manipulation turns addictive. They train your brain the same way you'd train an animal. Punish resistance, reward compliance. They use affection, attention, compliments, small doses of pleasure to reinforce the behaviors that benefit them. And when you stop behaving the way they want, they withdraw the reward. You don't even notice it happening at first. They hug you when you agree. They grow distant when you don't. They smile when you give in. They go cold when you stand firm. Soon you start chasing the warmth you once felt, not out of love, but out of conditioning. Your nervous system associates peace with their approval, and that's how control becomes invisible. It's not manipulation through pain, it's manipulation through relief. You obey, not because you're afraid, but because you crave the calm that only they can give you. This is what makes emotional control so powerful. It turns your own biology into a prison. To break the reward trap, you must separate peace from people. Your calm can't depend on how someone else feels. When they go cold, don't chase. When they get distant, don't explain. When they withdraw love, keep your center still. That's when their system collapses. Because it can't survive a person who no longer needs validation to breathe. Now you know their weapons: guilt, confusion, reward. 3 tools that look nothing alike, yet all serve one purpose: to control without being seen. They guilt you into silence, they confuse you into compliance, and they reward you into staying. That's how they build emotional prisons, with invisible walls and open doors. You think you're free because you can walk away any time, but you don't, because you've been trained not to. Here's the truth: the human brain can't be manipulated without permission, and that permission is given every time you choose peace over truth. So stop explaining yourself. Stop proving your worth. Stop mistaking control for care. Start watching patterns, not promises. Start listening to tone, not words. And start measuring love by how free you feel, not how guilty you feel. Because once you see the weapons, they can't be used on you anymore. You're not the target now, you're the observer. And observers can't be controlled. Subscribe to the channel and don't stop at this video. They're still using tricks you haven't noticed yet. The next video will show you exactly how they do it, and once you see it, you'll never see people the same way again.